everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be about results day. So as you know, if you have sat your A-levels or GCSEs, when I'm uploading this it will be less than a month until A-level results day and probably about a month until GCSE results day, round and about. I'm not sure when I'm uploading this, but loads of you have been like messaging me like, oh my god, like results day is in like 4 weeks, I'm stressing, what do I do? And I did a video about this last year, but obviously like my opinions have kind of changed, and this year's results day is obviously a lot more meaningful than last year's results day was for me. So I just wanted to do a video about how I'm preparing for results day, how I'm feeling about results day, and how you can sort of get ready for results day. Results day. It doesn't even sound like a word, does it? Like results day. Results day. Give this video a big thumbs up before we start if you would like a results day vlog from me this year. I was thinking of doing a similar thing to last year, so kind of vlogging the run up to results day, then results day itself, and then kind of like a breakdown of how I've done and everything. Obviously this year is such a big one for me, so you'll probably get a double whammy because you'll get me finding out whether I've got into uni in the morning and then me finding out what grades I've got. I don't think I'll film a live reaction of my grades this year, just because last year my reaction is not what people expected. Everyone was like, oh, it's a sigh of relief, and for me it really was, for reasons that I don't particularly like want to talk about or anything, but my reaction's never one that everyone expects. It's never me like jumping for joy, not because I'm not happy, but I just don't react like that, and I got a lot of hate because of my reaction last year. I will definitely be reacting to me whether I get into university or not, but me actually getting my grades I think I'm going to keep as a private thing this year, because I didn't really like having it on camera last year, and I don't regret it, but I don't think I would do it again in public, you know. So give this a thumbs up anyway if you would like a results day video. If you're new to my channel, basically I've just sat my A-levels in German, Spanish and English literature. Wow, I've already forgotten. And I have an offer to study at the University of Oxford, and I need to get 3 A's to get into Oxford, and I think I need to get A, B, B to get into my insurance university, which is Edinburgh. So naturally this year, results day is quite a big thing for me personally, because all of the work that I've ever really done was to go to Oxford. Like, it's always been the university that I've wanted to go to, and especially now I've visited it and I've stayed there and I've done the interviews, like it is where I would really like to go. But naturally I don't know if I've got a place there yet, because I'm waiting for results day. And to make matters worse, Oxford University starts on the 2nd of October. Edinburgh starts on like the 8th of September, so I've made plans very tentatively for September, but for all I know I could be at university. I could not even get into Edinburgh, I could have to go through clearing. You just don't know, it depends, you know. I could need to get remarks, everything could go fine. I could have to like have that agonising wait, like to see if my marks go up or down if I get remarked. Like, results day, I would say the #1 word to describe it is uncertainty. You just don't know what's going to happen. Nobody can say with 100% certainty that they think they've got into university. Nobody can say with 100% certainty that they don't think they've got into university. So it's kind of a very difficult situation for everybody involved, because you know, like you want to plan for it and you want to prepare for it, but realistically once you've sat your exams and once you have given in that last exam paper, there is literally nothing you can do, and it's such a hard mentality to have, but you do have to accept that no amount of touching wood or crossing your fingers or just praying is going to help you at this point, because your papers have probably already been marked, your fate has already been decided, so the only thing you can really do is enjoy your summer and enjoy the time that you have between now and that day. And looking back, obviously I've always worried about results day and then it's always been fine, but you never know, it could be different one year to another. I've been having a lot of dreams about me sitting exams. Like last night I had a dream that I had to sit an exam like a month after I'd finished all the rest of my exams, and like I'd done no revision for it, and it was such a long dream, and it was me trying to write an essay on a topic that I didn't know anything about, which was just terrifying for me because I like to be very prepared in exams, and my worst fear is not having enough to write, and it was just this really long dream about me having to write a whole German paper and I felt like I'd forgotten how to speak German because I hadn't done it for a month, and it was a horrible dream. I've had dreams about not getting into uni multiple times, and like it's just weird dreams like that that have really been sort of plaguing me. Honestly, it hasn't worried me that much, but the only issue that I'm having is that every time someone's like, oh, when you're at Oxford, or when you're at university, and every time they do that, I'm such a superstitious, like, I'm not a superstitious person, but I have to like find some wood and touch it. I have to like cross my fingers, and like I just don't like talking about university with any certainty because I have a horrible fear that I will be like, oh yeah, when I'm at Oxford, and then I won't get in. And that sounds so stupid, but even me just saying it once like freaks me out, because I said football's coming home, it didn't come home, you know, like you can jinx things. But yeah, it's a very like weird situation. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but it's the first time where my results have actually mattered to the point where it's either I get into university or I don't. At GCSE and at AS, it was always like, yes, I want the best grades because I want to apply to Oxford, but if I miss a grade, then it's not like, there is no immediate consequence, so to speak. So the pressure is on this year, so to speak. Wow, I keep saying so to speak. I am speaking. Congratulations, Eve. So it's very difficult for me. But that being said, I wanted to talk to you about how to cope with results day. Specifically A-level results day, but this also applies mainly for GCSEs too. But yeah, my first thing that I have done every year when I've really been freaking out about how my exams went is to remember that your exams, now they're like a month ago, like your brain will have convinced you that you've done rubbish in all of them. Like now looking back, I just think that I've done rubbish in all of them. But what I did when I was doing my exams, as you saw, is I did that like video document of how I thought they went, which obviously you can't do now, but for next results day, consider like writing down how you think they went as soon as you come out, because when you're panicking in like July and August, you can watch or read that back and you're like, oh okay, it didn't go as bad as I thought on that day, and now my brain is just convincing, you know, myself that it went really badly, because I often find that how you feel like it's gone a month later is so much worse than how it actually went. So make sure you try and keep a log like of how you were feeling at the time, and if you haven't done that, try and think back to how you were feeling at that time and replace your panic with those feelings now, you know. I mean, everyone has bad exams, of course, but there must have been a couple that you thought went well. Tip number 2 is to keep yourself busy. This is such a self-explanatory one, but try and just be doing stuff as much as you can, whether that's just going for walks, going cycling, like watching Netflix. Like try not to let yourself sit on your phone too much, because I find when I'm sat on social media and then I see something about results day, I'll just sit and fall into this pit of like despair, whereas I can avoid doing that if I kind of keep myself occupied, keep myself doing stuff. So oh my god, I'm not gonna say so to speak again. No, keep myself busy. That kind of keeps my mind off it. So for example, the week before results day this year, I get back from Summer in the City on the 12th, and then I have the 13th, which I need to fill, and then on the 14th and 15th, Liv, Molly, all of those gals are coming over for a sleepover, which means that I will kind of have that moral support. And obviously, as you saw last year, Lizzie came with me on results day, just so I kind of had someone there for like moral support. It's really important to sort of keep yourself occupied, especially in those last couple of days. Like obviously I wouldn't suggest maybe like going clubbing the night before results day, because you do kind of need to be sort of in a fit fighting state if you have to go through clearing and stuff, and also you'll probably be going out on results day. I am but try and keep yourself busy, watch a film, except that you're probably not going to get as much sleep as you usually would, but that's okay because the adrenaline will keep you going the next day anyway. And just get busy, because if you have the week before where you're just sat at home, you're just going to be wallowing and overthinking and working yourself into a frenzy, whereas if you're away, if you're busy, you don't have time to do that. So last year I was at a Cambridge summer school, I think. This year I'm busy. Like you've just got to try and keep yourself occupied so it's not at the forefront of your mind. If you're going to make plans this summer, make the plans for the week before results day and you'll be very grateful for it. My next tip is to be prepared. So you need to make a clearing account. I know like a lot of you have given me hate on my videos for saying why would you need to make a clearing account, but you just never know, and it's better to go in on results day knowing that you've got that there ready if you need it, rather than being complacent and being like, of course I don't need to go through clearing, when I could need to go through clearing. Like, you don't know. It'd also be advisable to make sure you know when your school expects you in, what the procedure at your school is, like whether they're all on one desk, whether there's alphabetical, where you need to go to get your results, at what time, what staff members are available on that day. Our school gave us like a results day pack detailing all of these things, so if you have one of those, make sure you read through it. If you don't, then just, you know, go into school or email school and be like, hey, like, what time am I allowed to come in to collect my results? It's also advisable to make sure you know how you're getting there. Are you going alone? Are you going with a parent? Are you going with a friend? I would advise going with someone. I think sometimes it can be more daunting going by yourself, especially if it's A-level results day. You'll probably already know if you've got into university or not, and it might just be worth having someone there with you to make sure that you're not like alone, especially if you haven't met your offer. But of course it's down to personal preference. I would also recommend like checking bus times, train times, just making sure that everything on that day that you can control, you have control, because the one thing that is not in your control at that point in time is your results, but you can control when you get there, how you get there, like what you're going to do on that day. So the more in control that you feel, the more it will distract from the fact that your results are kind of sitting out of your control at that point. That's what I do anyway. My next tip is to bring a calculator, bring like some sort of instrument that you can use to calculate your raw scores, like how many marks you are off a grade boundary, whether it's worth getting a remark. So I just bring my phone, obviously it's got a calculator on it, and that's kind of what you need. But if you're a bit more old-fashioned and you want to do it like the proper way, then you can always bring a calculator with you, a pen. A pen is very useful on results day, just to write down like your raw grades like next to your results. I would also recommend making sure that you've got like the AQA website and the OCR website or the NXL website like on your phone ready. If you need to like quickly find the grade boundaries or whatever, that is very doable. But remember, the school should have all of that information available, like they should have everything there. And if they don't, then that's a bit awkward, and that's not very good practice from the school. So you just need to like make sure that you've got it just in case you need it. Next tip would be, don't go in on results day with a set expectation of what your grade's going to be. Go in thinking generally like, I've done well, I've done bad. Like, don't go in thinking I'm going to have got this mark out of this mark on this paper, because last year I did that and I said to myself, I think I've done best in politics and I've done worse in English lit. And it turns out I did best in English lit, worse in politics, and everything that I thought I got, like all the marks that I thought I got, were completely like not right. And I'd worked myself into a frenzy with these ideas of what I wanted in my head, and like it was just completely the opposite way around. For example, my English lit papers, I was so convinced my first one had gone disastrously compared to my second one, but I got like full marks on the first paper and not on the second paper. So you just have to like make sure that you don't go in with any preconceived expectations. Go in with an open mind, because at the end of the day you are your own worst critic, and I have learnt the hard way that you are the worst judge of your own performance. Honestly, just go in with an open mind thinking what will be, and everything else will sort itself out. My next tip is to have looked at clearing courses and universities before you go. So I'm going to have a look like the week, probably not the week before results day, probably a couple of weeks before results day, so don't panic too much, at sort of universities that perhaps offer German and Spanish that I hadn't thought of before, that are offering clearing places. Obviously I don't know if I will just take a year out if I don't get my grades. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. It's a very difficult like situation for me. I haven't really thought about it that much because it's just terrifying. But I am going to have a look on clearing to make sure that on results day, if I do have to go through clearing, I'm not totally overwhelmed. And if you do have to go through clearing, stay in school, because they will just help you so much more than you sat at home on your phone trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Your school have been through it so many times. They know what's a good deal, what's a bad deal, like when they're just trying to sell you a place for no reason. So make sure that you stay in school, because that will be very useful. But yeah, make sure you've kind of had a look to see what your other options could be, worst case scenario. It's always best to plan for the worst and hope for the best. So I'm going to be planning for me missing both of my offers and having to figure out what the hell to do then. I'm going to be hoping that I'll have exceeded my Oxford offer, but you just don't know, do you really? So you've just got to plan for all occasions. My next tip is just don't worry. this is very rich coming from me, because let's be real, I am the biggest worrier, and I have honestly convinced myself at this point that I've probably got 3Ds, and that's so not true, I hope, but that is what my brain is telling me, and that is all my brain is going to be telling me between now and August the 16th. So all I'm saying is superstitious worrying is a dangerous trait. So what it is basically your brain convinces you that worrying about the outcome of a certain thing will change the outcome. So I have it, my mum has it, like everyone in our family does. So for example, say if you were waiting for a test result back, you would be convinced that you thinking about that test result will make it a better result, when realistically that is like, it's not physically going to change. Like, you can't change the result with your worrying. So don't bother, because worrying is wasted energy for starters, because there's no point in like worrying about what the outcome will be when the outcome is already set, and all you can do is prepare for the different outcomes rather than worrying. Because at the end of the day, your life will take the course that it's meant to take after results day. If you don't get the grades that you're supposed to get, that is the world telling you that that was not the path that you were supposed to be going on, okay? Like, if you've put the work in, then you have just got to hope that everything will go the way that it is meant to go, which might not be the way that you want it to go. But just remember that the universe has a plan for everybody, and I'm like a firm believer in that, you know, my mom, for example, didn't get into her first choice uni for circumstances outside of her control, but she went to her second choice uni and she had such a good time there, and she's so glad that she did go there. But obviously the circumstances leading to that was so out of her control that, you know, that wouldn't, like, it's the universe, you know. So I hope you enjoyed this results day video. I think I've covered everything that I can think of you to do to prepare. If I haven't, then be sure to comment down below like what I've missed, so people can kind of support each other. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you would like a results day video, as I've already said, and comment down below any fears you've got for results day, and we can talk about them together and get through them together. Sometimes it's best to just let it out, and I will see you very, very soon with a new video. Bye guys. Mwah.